Welcome back to the Chroncast, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alec Drickman, the editor and head writer at Canucks Chronicles and club reporter at Altitude FC. Joining me, as always, is Kaja Antic from Game Over Vancouver. Kaja, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you, Alex?
Good. Let's just get right into it. Yesterday at time of recording, at least, we'll see when I get this uploaded. Really no major news in the Canucks world, right? Can't think of much that happened. Beyond we don't have a head coach right now, but let's get into that here. So Rick Tocchet, if you have not heard, will not be returning as the Vancouver Canucks coach ahead of the 2025-26 season. Reportedly offered a contract that would have made him one of the highest paid coaches in the National Hockey League. Donnie and Dale, I believe, mentioned it at 5 years, $5 million per today. Oh, did you not hear this?
That's so much for just a guy.
But anyway, Tocchet has turned it down, effectively saying he wants to move on to other projects. Kaja, what do you think about the news?
Yes! Freedom! You know what? It was a flash in the pan that he got Coach of the Year a couple years ago. Like, he's been consistently outcoached. He does not have a proven track record beyond the 1 year in Vancouver. Every other time he's been a head coach, it's not gone well for him. And then every time he was assistant coach, he was basically there as like a babysitter for Phil Kessel. He was brought in to be a GT Miller babysitter because, we got to cater to that dude. But now that he's gone, he has really no use for this organization. And he was apparently talking about how he wanted a practice facility in order to stay on as head coach, allegedly. But it's like, if you want a practice facility, why are you also taking $25 million from the organization that could go towards a practice facility? Yeah, it would be a lot more expensive to build a practice facility than whatever his contract would be. But like, bro.
Apologies for the technical difficulties on my end. Anyone watching on video, I think my camera just cut out. That may happen periodically today. My Wi-Fi does not seem to like me right now. Or during most of our recordings. But yeah, so, okay. The 2024-25 Canucks, 2023-24, I will say. That was a fantastic season to watch. Rick Tocchet, of course, won the Jack Adams, as you previously mentioned. This year's Rick Tocchet did not remotely seem like the same head coach we were getting. Or maybe it even was, and it was just that it didn't work anymore. But it's just that. It wasn't working here. Like, the way he was playing just doesn't seem to apply to the modern NHL. These players were not really listening to the message anymore. It was time for a change. I'm not even thrilled we would have offered him a contract that would have made him one of the highest paid coaches in the league. I do not think he is worth it. I think he can be like, I think his ceiling is pretty average coach who is, if you give him the right group, is not necessarily going to cost you games, but isn't single-handedly going to outcoach someone else and win you games. Why are you paying any coach who's not like Paul Maurice, John Cooper, someone like that, $5 million a year?
Rod Brind'Amour.
You need a seriously premium coach for that. This is not that. If that's what he was getting offered, I'm a little worried about the direction of this. But at the end of the day, moving on, I think, was the right decision for this team because we need to move forward. We need to find a coach who can do better. I also don't like how many coaches we've gone through in such a short period of time here, and this does, unfortunately, have to continue that trend. But you do eventually need to settle on the right coach, and just trying to force it to work with this one guy won't necessarily work. Yes, Kai?
Point about that. Well, we had a coach, but then they forced him out to put in Rick Tocchet. And need I remind everybody. Like, that saga still makes me mad to think about, because, like, they did that coach so dirty, and then they brought in their guy, and now their guy isn't working out. So, does that even, like, motivate any other coaches to stay? Because, like, I'm also wondering, like, if they had to offer him that much of a contract, is that because no one wants to coach for these guys? Like, I understand we've had, like, considerable turnover. I would say, unfortunately, Travis Green was casualty of the Jim Benning era, but that is, again, my opinion. But, yeah, like, it is concerning, but also it's an issue of management, I feel. It's not an issue of, like, the players.
Mm-hmm. And, like, just talk about the practice facility thing. I do very much get it. Like, I forget if we're the only NHL team without a dedicated practice facility. If not, certainly one of. It's a very rare phenomenon. And I do get why Rick Tocchet wants practice facility. I wonder how much this is going to affect our ability to get someone in. If something like that might... Like, let's say we were to... I don't think we'll be getting him, but let's say we were to take a crack at Mike Sullivan. Is Mike Sullivan really going to want to come to a situation where somebody just walked out who got offered $5 million a year to not have a practice facility and take on this tire fire of an organization?
I mean, they'd probably offer him more because he's an ex-Pen, but if I'm a coach in the NHL and I'm getting offered this position, I am running as far away as possible from this organization at this current moment.
Yeah. So in different sport, but in the NFL this offseason, the New Orleans Saints were the last team to have a head coaching vacancy. The New Orleans Saints also have a very poorly constructed roster, a bunch of cap problems. Just nothing works. And it got to the point where there were some concerns about whether or not they were going to be able to find a head coach. Because nobody was accepting it. They had multiple people turn down their offers. Eventually they did manage to get the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator to come take the job, who is actually, I think, a pretty decent hire. But the question had to be asked, would the New Orleans Saints be able to find a head coach, or would they just have to promote someone from within? I think the question needs to be asked, how good of a coach can the Vancouver Canucks find? Because I want to get into a little bit of talk about potential candidates here. We have briefly mentioned this on other episodes. There's some definite good names on the market who could take over as head coach. Names like Mike Sullivan, as previously mentioned, but I don't know that would actually get him. Sorry, who did you just say?
John Tortorella. That was a bit. Please do not let this man back into the city.
You saved it there. Names like David Woodcroft. I just combined the next two people I was going to say. Jay Woodcroft.
Mm-hmm.
David Carl, head coach at University of Denver.
Oh.
A lot of these guys, if there's either A, another vacancy interested in them, or B, in Carl's case, he has a job right now at University of Denver, are they going to want to come to Vancouver?
Yeah, that's the issue. Manny Malhotra, you are Vancouver Canucks head coach.
And
like,
go ahead.
Well, no, I was just like, I feel like they're going to have to get somebody they're going to have to get somebody external, because like Manny Malhotra's his first year as a head coach in Abbotsford. They're not going to promote him that easily. The Jay Woodcroft one, I'm like I get it. He could be a good thing for the organization. Because he did get like unfairly ousted by the Edmonton Oilers, because like that's not a coach's fault that they have slow starts every year. It's the organization's fault for like not caring whatsoever. Oilers slander aside, yeah, I think Jay Woodcroft, like, he is a candidate, but like, yeah, would he want to come here? My ideal one is Dave Haxtell, former head coach of the Seattle Kraken. But I don't know if he would also want to come here.
Yeah. So I think my personal favorite is Woodcroft. I just like his style for how we play. Again, like you said, I believe he was very unfairly taken out of his job in Edmonton because of the Oilers' annual slow start, and eventually they decided, oh, we need to fire him right now. I don't know if he would come. I don't know what other job offers he may get that may be more appealing. But I think it's a very distinct possibility. Manny Malhotra's name even did get mentioned in Jim Rutherford's press conference yesterday, which we will touch on a little bit here. I think Manny is going to get some consideration here, and I do think I get it with the year Abbotsford's been having, and because he's a known quantity to the organization, there's a lot of risk in that. I think there's very clear upside in him as a coach with the results he's been able to get out of Abbotsford this year, and the results that guys who have made the jump to the NHL after working with him have had. I think it's clear why they're interested. He's had, again, 1 year of AHL head coaching experience, I believe. It's a risk. Yes.
Yeah, and like 1 year of good coaching experience is exactly what got us into continuing with Rick Tocchet. It's
Yeah.
exactly what got us into this situation. So
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that Manny Malhotra is the same as Rick Tocchet. That's like comparing the tragically hip and Kendrick Lamar's effectiveness in pop culture. But I would say like it's that's a deep cut. No, I would say like I do like him as a head coach. I think let him cook in Abbotsford for a little bit, get someone in the interim, which again is insane to say because it feels like every coach is in an interim position here. But get someone in the interim that has NHL experience before you bring him up to the big club. But that's just me.
Or another name that we heard mentioned in the press conference yesterday, which please don't, Peter Laviolette. I've also heard the name of David Quinn mentioned, just not by anyone in the organization, I should mention, just like in online chatter. Ultimately, more than almost any coaching decision this organization has made, certainly in a long time, maybe ever, you need to get this one right. Because if you don't get this one right, I'm pretty sure that's Quinn Hughes out the door.
He's already got 1 foot out the way.
He seems to. We'll start talking about this now. So after the news dropped yesterday, Jim Rutherford had a press conference to address the media. What was this?
Jim, what happened to shutting up? You said that like 2 or 3 years ago. What happened to that? Please, stop. You're making it worse for yourself. I cannot believe he went in front of a giant crowd of press and said that he was getting ghosted. Like, I don't even tell my friends that. Like, you... bro! Decorum! Learn! Like... Also, Quinn Hughes, major respect for that. Like, protect your peace. Don't listen to your boss on your off days. What the hell, Jim? What?
So, if you're unaware, Jim Rutherford effectively just let out in front of God knows how many reporters that after he made the firing of Rick Tocchet, he had tried to call Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes had not answered the phone. And as of the press conference, they had still not spoken about the news.
Yeah, so the actual quote, I have the quote.
Perfect.
Okay. I hope he's playing golf because he usually returns my calls right away, and I called him within half an hour of talking to Rick, and he hasn't called me back. Now, I don't play golf, but I'm assuming that most golf courses have cell reception.
Generally, they do, yes.
Yeah. So
now
unless
he could be like
unless
saying,
he's golfing on the phone.
We'll edit that.
Sorry.
All good. Like whenever I'm golfing, I will have my phone on me and I'm able to take calls. Now, he could, let's say he was golfing. He may have seen the call and just went, okay, I'm golfing right now. Maybe there's a group behind me. I don't want to take a break during play and answer a phone call. Why are we mentioning this publicly? Why do we need to tell the media about your phone call with lack of a phone call with your captain?
Like, were you like kicking your feet up behind you waiting for him to answer after a few rings? Like, buddy, unless he's golfing on the moon, he doesn't want to talk to you right now.
Yeah. Also, so I believe he mentioned in the quote he called Quinn Hughes about a half an hour after this decision was reached.
Within half an hour of talking to Rick Tocchet.
Did we not choose to tell our captain about this news before letting the public find out?
I was about to say, well, I'm sure Jim left him a message, but I don't know if he's like too old for that.
So, you know how there's a group chat that apparently there's a group chat containing every NHL GM.
Uh-huh.
I do wonder if during Jim Rutherford's time as GM in Pittsburgh, he's a president now, so I don't know if he's still in the group chat, if at one point he just, like, texted his grocery list in there or something.
Hey, it's better than national security information. Jim Rutherford for next defense secretary. I think that's the job title. Anyway, yeah, he would be the type of guy. I mean, I think we all know who's actually in the Canucks GM spot, and it's not Patrick or Jim. But, yeah, I don't love any of this. I don't love any of this. We are so cooked. We are so done. Fold the franchise. We shouldn't exist anymore. This team is done. Move us to Arizona, Quebec. I don't care.
Yeah,
Break down Rogers Arena.
just like the last few months, we're just going to go back in time about a year here. About a year ago, the Canucks were playing Nashville in the playoffs. Everything was feeling great. Even a few weeks later, when we eventually would lose the second round to Edmonton, my outlook for this team was, you know what? We're on the upswing. And we've lost Kaja.
Okay, but like legitimately, I think I am stuck.
Oh, that's not. There we go.
There we go. I'm back. Yay.
Like, everything looked so good. Flash forward to now. I know that there is a way to get this back on track and to have next year be a good season for this team. I think there are definitely... It doesn't even take that many things happening for it to get done. The problem is my faith in them actually getting done in a manner that does not completely create new problems or just cause various mass organizational chaos. It's not that high right now. Now, the good news is we can look forward to soon watching Tom Willander playing a Canucks jersey. Oh, wait, maybe we can't. Let's talk about that. So, a while ago, it was reported by Frank Saravalli that Tom Willander had signed his entry-level deal. This report was then walked back to Willander had not signed, but it seems like it may be close. Now it does not seem as if Willander will be signing it anytime soon, and that the most likely outcome will be him returning to school at Boston University next fall. And it appears that this is over a disagreement over $200,000 in bonus structure. Are we currently destroying our relationship with our top prospect over $200,000? Which, you know, to me and you and to the people listening at home, except maybe Dr. Helmut Marko, is quite a lot of money. To Francesco Aquilini, that's like a couple nights at one of his restaurants.
Okay, wait, I'm doing the math.
Yeah.
So it is 0.008% of the contract they were offering Rick Tocchet is the $200,000. Patrick? What the hell? I mean, I support players going to get their educations. I support that fully. I think that the NHL does it completely wrong by taking players out of basically high school. Like a lot of other major sports have it after they're done college, and I understand the structure of the sports is very different. Hockey destroys your body faster, but like at the same time, yeah, I have issues with the NHL draft that we could talk about at a later date, but $200,000 in bonuses is what is the holdup in getting arguably your most important prospect of this generation signed. You can make that argument. I mean, like Mackey is kind of up there, but also like Tom Willander is a defenseman, so there's that. I don't understand. It's like this team is like purposefully being bad. It's like, Did I forgot the character. Rebecca in Ted Lasso suddenly take over the team and now she's trying to run it into the ground? Like, there's no relegation here, sweetie. We're cooked. You're just like this is like giving Jamie Tart back to Manchester City. Like, that's ultimately that ends up going him. Like, is Tom Willander going to be on like Love Island Sweden? I don't know. Or whatever form of, I don't remember what they called it in Ted Lasso because they couldn't get the rights for Love Island, I guess. But like, I don't know why I'm making a Ted Lasso analogy. I think this team should just honestly pack it in. You've had a good run. It's been, well, over 50 years as the Canucks in the NHL. You've had a storied history before that. It's time. Move on. Like, just go away.
Yeah. No, I'm seriously wondering if at this point we're actually going to see Tom Willander play in a Canucks jersey at any point. So I'll say what I've heard people like Thomas Drance and Sat Shaw say just in general on 650 countless times. One phone call can change a lot. You never know. Maybe we make that one phone call and suddenly the $200,000 problem changes. We get a contract signed and he becomes a Canuck. I wonder if he even survives this offseason as a member of the Canucks organization, or if we see him moved as part of something to get a top 6 forward, because quite clearly they want to be aggressive. They want to make sure next year this team is competing again. We are 1 to 2, maybe even 3 when you factor in that Brock Besser has probably gone top 6 forwards short of contention.
He's gone. He's gone.
Is Willander going with him?
I mean, maybe. Is
like,
Tom Willander like dogs? Brock Besser has 2 dogs.
Sorry. When I say going with him, not specific.
Sorry.
But yeah, just like, how have we let this happen? You'd think after how Bruce Boudreau was treated, we would have learned a lesson about how we need to treat people in this organization and all of the fallout that came with that. Evidently not. Sorry, I'm just remembering a story from when they were first trying to sign Andrei Kuzmenko.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about the Lemons? That's a weird sentence, I'm aware. So, Kuzmenko and his agent come to their office. They ask Kuzmenko, do you want a drink? And he asks for water with a slice of lemon. They say, sorry, we don't have any lemons, just give him a water. Him and his agent go back for lunch. They're gone for like an hour or two, and they say, hey, let's on the way back grab a bag of lemons and take it to their office as a joke. By the time they get back to the office, the Canucks have already purchased a bag of lemons for the second meeting as like a gesture of, if you want it, we will get it for you. What happened to that? Where are the lemons?
Like,
and I get that the lemons are a small gesture type thing, but it's like showing a philosophy here.
It was a woman who got the lemons. I'm just gonna say
it's a distinct possibility.
It is a high probability. Rutherford was running out to the IGA to get lemons, or Patrick. But whatever intern did that, kudos to her. But yeah, what happened to this team? Did they sacrifice the medical staff for the lemons? Did they sacrifice HR for the lemons? Because they obviously don't have that anymore. Did they like switch to like using AI for HR, and now ChatGPT is just pumping out, yeah, get rid of this person, get rid of this person, treat this person like absolute garbage. You see that child? Kick him. The child is Tom Willander. Yeah. That it's like, is that what's going on? Are they Age of Ultroning themselves? I don't know. Yeah. That's not a verb, but like, you understand.
Yeah.
The best Avengers movie.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else we have to say on the Tom Willander topic specifically, so I'm just going to actually move backwards a little bit and mention a name that I've just seen mentioned as a potential head coaching thing. Now, this is I'm not going to say not very likely, because I'm going to say this just flat out won't happen. I saw the name John Cooper mentioned, and I'm very confused. Now, on the one hand, there are some rumors floating that he plans to leave the Lightning in the next couple years just to pursue a new challenge. I think his contract is expiring in the near future, so I think that would be it. He is also a BC boy. I believe he's from Cranbrook.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
coming back to his home province could be appealing. However, going from the Tampa Bay Lightning, one of the best-run organizations in hockey who have fantastic players, great facilities, great this, great that,
in Tampa
management, in Florida, where he doesn't have to pay taxes and gets lovely weather, although he does have to deal with like alligators and meth and stuff like that. That's just my perspective on what Florida is.
And also is Florida. Just that word. Well,
just the general Florida-ness of it all. To the Vancouver Canucks, who are currently lice on rats on a horse on fire.
That's a sentence and a half.
I stole it from John Oliver, I won't lie.
What episode?
I can't even remember.
I love John Oliver. He's from Prince George.
Prince George.
That's...
Anyway, yeah, so John Cooper, I would love to see it. There is no candidate I would love to see coach the Canucks more than John Cooper, except maybe Paul Maurice, who we're also not getting. But it won't happen. Anyway, speaking of Prince George, let's talk about Vancouver's new PWHL franchise.
Yeah!
If you're wondering why, speaking of Prince George, there was a map posted on their Instagram today of PWHL teams that I believe got 8 out of 8 locations wrong.
Okay, let's break it down. I have 2 geography courses post-secondary to my name, so let's go. PWHL Vancouver, that's in Prince George. PWHL Seattle, which also got
announced, by the way,
and just announced today, which also has like a very similar color scheme to, it's like a mix of the Vancouver one and Boston, so I don't know if I love that, but whatever. They're in Quesnel, I think. Minnesota is in like Thunder Bay, which is the only place in Western Ontario I know.
That's the closest to accurate of all of these, by the way. I think they've only put them a little north of Minneapolis.
Yeah. St. Paul. Boston's in Maine, which I'm sure Noah Kahn would love, but that's not accurate. Montreal Victoire. I don't actually know names of places in Quebec, so here, let's butcher my French. That is the Lower Mainland. I don't need to see that. I know that very well. Okay, so I'm going to guess here. So Toronto, they have placed in Zegbras Coupe Désert.
Gesundheit.
Ottawa, they have placed in Ferme-Neuve or Chute Saint-Philippe. And New York is placed in basically Trois Rivières. Thank you. They've put Montreal up like...
Is that where Chicoutimi is?
Chicoutimi. They're like the Chute des Passés, Lac à la Carpe. I wonder what fish are there. Tour Fraser. Like, they're in Labrador City, basically. They put them there. Okay, that's a little bit of a stretch. But yeah, I would say they're near Chute or Lac à la Carpe.
So PWHL, we love what you're doing. Little work on the geography would be great, guys.
Yeah, is it still up? Instagram, PWHL Vancouver.
It's on the PWHL Vancouver Instagram page.
Yeah. It is not there.
I wonder why.
Oh, yeah.
It was on the second slide of a post, by the way, so
Oh, okay. We are checking. Copy, we are checking.
We are checking.
Okay. it's not there anymore. They learned!
Okay. Great job, PWHL Vancouver. We look forward to this post coming back up with the correct map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, welcome to the PWHL. It looks okay. So it looks like they had it as as like the main post, and you know how sometimes when there's multiple slides on a post, they do like a cutoff of the next slide in the first slide?
Yeah.
So there's a cutoff on the far right of the original first slide in the Welcome to the PWHL post for Seattle. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's where the map was, and they just deleted the slide based on where the graphics line up for the trees in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think happened. They just deleted that second slide, which you can do, fun fact. I don't know why that's a fun fact, but you know.
But anywho, Vancouver and Seattle now both announced as PWHL franchises, which will bring the league to 8 teams for next season. This is going to be great.
We're finally getting good hockey in Vancouver for the first time in 50 years. They are they're playing it said venue TBA, but I'm like, it's the Pacific Coliseum. Like, we know.
It had been officially announced, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it wasn't officially announced.
I think it was though, because they also announced a practice facility.
That's true.
Which is one step above their practice facility is the Agrodome. Which,
you know what's kind of crazy about this?
What?
The Canucks, I remember a few years ago hearing this, had been talking, when they were going through their whole practice facility thing, had been talking to venues at the PNE about becoming the practice facility. You have to assume the Agrodome was part of those talks.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work. And now the PWHL team has it.
That is so funny.
The PWHL team, who have not played a game.
You know what? Honestly, that's how things should be done. Let the women have it. I will say I was mistaken. I thought I was like, oh yeah, the Agrodome. Is that not the Forum? No, the Forum is on a different part.
Forum's the other one.
The Forum's the other one, but that's where the Canucks originally played before the Pacific Coliseum was built.
Yeah.
In the 60s. Yeah. The Agrodome, I didn't know they could put ice in there, so that's cool. Yeah, it'll be fun to see. Pacific Coliseum's a great venue, especially for hockey. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Hopefully this is an actual I-rivalry. It'll be interesting to see how the divisions and stuff shake up. Because I'd imagine they'd have to create some kind of like, I don't know if they'd still keep it like the Canada versus. Actually, I don't know if that's like I don't know if they have like divisions. But yeah, I don't know.
They have 4-4 now too, so they have even numbers if they want to do Canadian division, US division, but also the travel schedule would be brutal.
Yeah, because I'm like, Vancouver and Seattle are much closer than Vancouver and Toronto.
Yeah.
I would say, like, I would think that they would have, like, I was going to say a Western division, but I'm like, they could only have, like, 3 teams in that Western division.
Yeah, you'd need to have, like, Toronto or something in the West, which would just be all kinds of wrong.
Hey, I mean, Toronto and Vancouver used to be in the same conference in the NHL, so.
Yeah, but this was back in, like, the 80s when logic didn't matter.
True. You see the hair from there?
But yeah, anything else you want to say about the PWHL, or should we move on?
Please pick a good name. Oh, right. Yeah, I was going to say.
That's what we were going to talk about.
Yes. I was like, right. I had a whole thing.
We were missing something.
Yes. Yeah, so people have been saying that they should take the Millionaires name. First of all, that copyright is being held by the Vancouver Canucks, because of course it is. And 2, let the women's sports have their own thing. There is history of Vancouver, like professional women's teams or women's hockey teams in Vancouver. Let them have their own name. That's what the PWHL has done for pretty much all the teams so far, in the league itself. And let them have their own identity. Don't, like, 100 years ago today, the Millionaires weren't even the Millionaires. They were the Maroons. We don't need to bring that back. They're not fighting for a Stanley Cup. They're not. Look at what happened the last time we put a hockey team in Vancouver in the Millionaires jersey. We traded Roberto Luongo. We're not doing that again. Because he's retired and they don't want to pay for the, contract stuff. But let women's sports teams have their own thing aside from the men's teams. I am sick and tired of hearing of them always being added as like a side mention to another team. Yeah. Sorry. Just like, and people are like, oh yeah, you should bring back the Vancouver Voodoo. I'm like, the WHA team that lasted like 2 seasons in the 70s?
That's not the Voodoo.
The Vancouver Voodoo?
The Voodoo were an inline hockey team. The WHA team with the Vancouver Blazers.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I have been completely wrong.
You don't know that?
I genuinely thought I was, okay, I was incorrect there. I'm gonna go crawl into a hole.
But like, point still stands.
Point still stands. Let the women have their own damn thing. We've been picking up after men for centuries. Sorry, I'm reading a book about historical feminist heroes that got ignored because of history. So I let out the little internalized rage there for a second, which totally doesn't happen often. But yeah, let the women's team and the women's league have their own damn thing. That's all.
All right. Just speaking of team names, is there anything that stands out to you as a name example you would be a fan of?
I'm a big fan of alliteration, so I was like Voyagers, but I don't know if that's good. That would be like a good name. I would hope that they would have something. I think it would be cool to have some kind of like collaboration with like the Indigenous communities in Vancouver.
Yep.
To figure out like what a name could be for the team. I think that would be cool. But this is like, not sure if they're gonna do that. They have Toronto named after something royal, and it's like we're okay. I don't love the name, but I don't know. I don't exactly. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst team name because the BC Lions are named after a mountain when the name of the mountain isn't even Lions. So, to colonialist history, it is the Lions, but it's not actually the Lions. Yeah, fun fact. I don't know. I don't have any potential names. But speaking of names, have you heard about the potential for the Utah name? That is apparently what they changed their handle to on YouTube.
Oh, I did hear it was Mammoth, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, just the final 3 candidates, it had come down to, was it Hockey Club, Mammoth, Yeti? Outlaws.
Which is so funny, because it's like, it's Utah. What outlaws do you have? The Mormon Church? Like, No, I really wish it could have been Raptors, and I believe that probably Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment had their thoughts about that, because, the Raptors, even though it's in a different country, across the continent, a different league entirely, no, you can't have Raptors. You can't have Raptors, even though there is a dinosaur named the Utah Raptor. It should have been Raptors. Mammoth, okay, whatever. I'm gonna make a lot of Ice Age memes about that. But I'm mad. It should have been Raptors.
Or like, just speaking about like the trademark stuff with Raptors, I was never a big fan of the Utah Yeti name idea. But the idea that it got shut down because of Yeti coolers.
That's funny.
The company that made the coolers basically said no, people could get confused between the 2 products. One is a hockey team. One is a travel mug.
But also, to be fair, people get confused between Stanley Cup, the trophy, and Stanley Cup, the water bottle. Like...
That's true, but let's say I'm going to buy a cooler. I'm not then going to suddenly buy hockey tickets.
Good. I have a Canucks cooler, so capitalism makes people brain go weird.
But why not even at that point do what the Seattle Kraken and Kraken Rum have done? They have Kraken Rum sponsors the Seattle Kraken. Have Yeti sponsor the Yetis.
I don't think you can have a Yeti cooler. City. A Yeti cooler. That's
Yeti cooler.
Yeti
cooler. Got a Yeti cooler.
The Canucks cool. It's just an insulated bag I got to save on, bro. It's not that deep.
But nonetheless, like if it's a Yeti cooler with the logo.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I don't know. Mammoth. I'm excited for what the mascot's going to be because I'm hoping that they're not going to be boring and not have a mascot. Rangers. But yeah, I'm excited. I hope they name him Manny. Actually, no, I wonder if that's a trademark too.
That would probably be trademarked.
Why does this world suck? Why?
But just going back to like the PWHL name idea we were talking about, I have an idea based off of something you said when you were saying you hoped that they could work with local Indigenous groups on a name. Even if they don't work on a name together, which I agree with would be cool. I wonder if they could work on designing a jersey together.
Oh, the jersey absolutely should be. Yeah.
The example I'm going to use is Pacific FC in the Canadian Premier League had an Indigenous design kit, I want to say 2 years ago. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Absolutely fantastic. No notes. The Seattle Sounders, who I hate this organization. Their current jersey that was designed using local Indigenous artists, I believe, from the Seattle area. Again, fantastic jersey. Why not do that here? It would just be missing an opportunity not to.
Yeah, and it would be cool to see jerseys created by like local artists actually on the ice because they are not allowed to do that in the NHL anymore. So, like the Canucks have had a lot of like history with bringing in local artists for like specialty jersey nights. Like I have one of the Indigenous celebration logo designs. It was when Ethan Bear was with the team. They had like the t-shirts and stuff with Bear in Cree on the back too. So I have one of those, and it's like one of my favorite Canucks designs. I would say, and I do not like the black skate like colors or like design itself. I'm just gonna ignore you. Like I don't love it, but like that design itself is just like amazing. So I really hope that the team does something.
I'm looking to my right now and seeing on my bookshelf I have double-sided taped up an old locker room nameplate from when the team did, I believe it was Diwali night a few years ago. And I had Juho Lammikko's locker room nameplate with the Diwali logo, which was, again, designed by a local artist. Fantastic looking logo.
I'm trying to find mine, because I know I have some here. I have, like, Oh, okay. There we go. I have 2 Pride ones, which, I mean, one of them wasn't designed by a local artist, but we can ignore that. That's old Twitter drama. But, yeah, so I have 2 of the Pride ones, and then I have a Hockey Fights Cancer one, but that's, more generic NHL. I just got it because Tyler Mott. But the Canucks do have a lot of very well designed, like, specialty jerseys. I hate calling them specialty jerseys because it's literally just like recognizing a community that already loves your team. Like, it's just okay. Like it's like it is a special thing to be recognized, but also like it should be more than just one night that you profit off of. And I hope the artist also profits off of, but that's another conversation. Yeah, I hope the PWHL team has some like input with like local artists and stuff. I think that would be super cool.
Yeah. I think it's time to move into other topics kind of around the NHL. Let's start with one regarding a former Canuck, JT Miller, your favorite, is currently trying to qualify for the U.S. Open for, I want to say, the second consecutive year. I know he did once before at least, possibly more.
Not the second consecutive year, because last year was the playoffs. It was
For
2
the
years
second
ago.
time in 3 years.
Yeah. Bro, pack it up. Like, you spend the entire year on the road. You have to move in the middle of that, too. Like, spend some time with your damn kids, bro. Like, I'm not judging, but I'm judging, you know? Like, it's just a silly little golf tournament. I'm also not a resident golf lover, so I'm like, you know what? It's just places that take up like green space. Go to a park instead. Same amount of physical exertion. Probably more if you do a hike, but that's all I'm gonna say about golf. Yeah, he's trying to do it again. Pack it up, bro. It's done. It's done. You're good. You're good. Go to mini golf. I was about to say go to Castle Fun Park, but he doesn't play anymore, so play here anymore, so can't do that. But their mini golf isn't as good as it was before the flood. Anyway, that's. Did you not? When it flooded?
No, I've heard about that. It's just I'm trying to remember if I've ever been to Castle Fun Park, but I don't think I have.
Oh my god. Okay.
But you gotta also remember, I'm much farther away from them than you are.
True. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, good luck, JT. Like, I
think he was like last or something.
I think.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Last time he tried, he wasn't like way off the pace to qualify. Because a decent number of amateurs do get in. Or at least like to make it to the next round of qualification. He wasn't that far off the pace.
So he almost made it to Q2.
He almost made it to Q2.
Okay, cool. Just a few tenths off. That's how I understand it.
Had a lap time deleted, otherwise would have gotten it. Yeah, like
green line.
This is, you know what? Like, honestly, JT, good for you. Just why not? If the alternative was helping your kids with math homework, I'd probably also want to go golfing. So
his kids are like 5.
That's a very good point. He can add.
What math homework are they doing? Can he put 2 and 2 together? Again, they take these kids right out of high school, so I don't know.
By high school, I think I did know how to add 2 and 2.
Hockey boys.
It's interesting debate.
There's a genuine question if hockey players in the NHL can read. Like,
can JT read?
I would hope so.
We should probably stop talking about this before we get in trouble.
No, but like, it's a genuine thing. Like,
no, I believe you. I don't want to go into specifics.
It's not about specific JT. I'm sure JT Miller can read, but like, I'm sure he can read. But like, remember when Colin Delia had a book on the plane, and Connor Garland was like probably the only guy on the team that can read, and people were like, "Yeah, that's probably true." And it's like when Quinn Hughes was showing off books in the Amazon series, people were like, "Oh, hockey players can read." Like, it's a genuine thing.
Quinn Hughes can definitely read. There's no question with him, I think.
I don't think Ellen would let him leave the house if he didn't.
No, Quinn's like... Next episode we'll rank Canucks on how we think the reading level would be. But we should probably move past this for now.
I'm adding that to the grading sheet.
Stay tuned to find out what that means. That'll be next episode probably.
Just before anyone takes offense to this, it's all a bit. I'm sure NHL players can read. Like, most of them probably.
Probably.
Yep, maybe.
Not sure about Tom Wilson. Anyway, let's talk about the Habs Capitals bench brawl the other day.
I think he can read because he can read Anderson on the back of the jersey and knows to just go straight for him because they hate each other.
He just knows the shapes.
It's like me trying to find stuff when I don't want to put my glasses on. It's like I just see shapes. That's it. Yeah, that was insane to watch. And it was at the end of the period, too. So I'm like, I was watching my dog. So I'm just like sitting down with him. And then I just hear, oh, and they're in the benches. And I look up at the TV, and Tom Wilson and Josh Anderson are like going at it on the Caps bench. And I just like had to sit back and just, I didn't even notice that Montreal had scored a few like seconds prior. But like, well, not a few seconds prior, but like late in the second period there. Yeah, that was absolutely insane to witness. I have no words. I have no words.
So I was unable to watch this game, so I didn't get to catch this live, but my favorite part of this in the video that I saw after the fact was the Capitals trainer, I believe, picking up a fragment of a broken stick and just holding it up like this, ready to defend himself in case the fight came over to him.
It's like the game Hitman, when you can just like grab random things and hit people with it. Like you can knock somebody out with like a fish.
Yeah.
In that game. That's what it kind of looked like.
Like he just grabbed a fish.
Like he had just grabbed a fish, except it's probably would hurt more than a fish because it's like, I don't know what hockey sticks are made out of. It's like, it's not wood anymore, but it's like plastic, right? I almost said carbon fiber, but that's the wrong sport. I don't know. It's different now, but who knows? It might have been wood. Why am I talking about hockey stick? I'm like deconstructing the. As you can tell, I got extra help in chemistry 11 because my teacher thought I was stupid. Fun fact. Yeah, that was absolutely like hilarious to watch. I'm not one that like is all they should all fight each other. Like I'm not that type of person, but that was awesome to see, and it was just super cool to watch.
Yeah,
because like you don't really get that in today's NHL.
Yeah.
Like at all. So yeah, it was cool. I bet John Tortorella was wishing that he could have done that in 2014 in January of, I forgot exactly what date it was, but we all know what I'm talking about.
Yep. I don't really know what else to add about this. Let's talk about Ottawa and Toronto a little bit.
Linus Ullmark, I'm sorry for underestimating you. Jake Sanderson is also very good.
Jake Sanderson is excellent.
He's very good. The Ottawa Senators, they are going to do the funny. I have faith.
I think they're going to do the funny.
They're going to do the funny thing, and I cannot wait for it to happen.
If they do the funny thing, I do wonder what's going to happen to the Leafs next year, because at a certain point, with enough of these playoff losses, your team is going to start carrying around the emotional baggage, and it's going to get to a point where it just completely handicaps your ability to get it done, even in the regular season now. I'm being told to wait.
Did you say emotional baggage? I forgot I was wearing headphones. That worked so well.
We did not plan this.
Where did that go? Yeah. I was gonna look up the Leafs Puckpedia because thank you to the Washington Capitals for getting cap. What was it?
Was it the cap friendly? Was it the Capitals or the Blues?
It was the Capitals. I remember because it was also right after they traded for PLD and they got swept by the Rangers.
Right.
Yeah. So they both have John Tavares and Mitch Marner going to be UFAs this year for the Leafs. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. What else is going out? Where is Ryan Reeves right now?
I think he's with the Marlies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it said buried cap, and I was just like, why is he there? That makes sense. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Matt Murray. Matt Murray is like Matt Murray, right? Not the other guy?
Matt
Yes,
Murray, not Matt Murray.
Matt Murray. He's 30?
Is he?
He's 30!
Really?
Like the older
Matt Murray, not Matt Murray, second of his name.
Yes. He's 30!
Really? Wow.
Bro, get out of Toronto. For your soul. But yeah, they have Max Domi until 2028. That's wild. Yeah. His contract and Austin Matthews' contract is the exact same length. Granted, there's about $10 million in between there. $9.5 million in between there. I can do math. But yeah, Mitch Marner's a UFA. John Tavares is a UFA. We'll see what happens there. I think Craig Berube has worked out thus far.
Yeah.
Until the playoffs. Like, every Leafs tenure does. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Of course, I had to make it about the Leafs. But, I'm just really happy there wasn't a sweep because that makes the playoffs way more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it'll be a fun time. Whatever happens.
Ottawa, please do the funny.
Please do the funny. Like, could you just imagine sitting here and we just lost Rick Tocchet and Travis Green's going to the second round of the playoffs after being down 3-0 with the Ottawa Senators. How's that working out for you, bud?
Anyway,
if I had my keyboard plugged in, I would have hit the first note of Welcome to the Black Parade. Yeah, because I learned how to play that when I was 14, like every good 14-year-old should. It's a fast series. I also was really shocked. I was like, why is there no playoff hockey on Monday for Canada teams? And then I remembered that there was a federal election. I was like, oh, right, yeah, that's probably why. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of playoff hockey. I'm gonna be real.
Same.
I'm enjoying a break from hockey, and instead watching a less violent sport, wrestling. Or you could say less violent F1, but highlights when, Nelson Piquet would like to get out of his car and hit people. But now he's banned, but that's for talking, not for hitting people. Unless you ask his daughter, then he's allowed in. But that's... I don't know why I just turned this into Nelson Piquet, but yeah, Nelson Piquet is the next head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
How many syllables is the word wild?
Minnesota Wild fans, I am rooting for you, okay? I do not like the Vegas Golden Knights, and I love Marc-Andre Fleury. But you cannot say, let's go wild. Wild is one syllable. You cannot say, come up with something different. Come up, have some creative thought in anything. I mean, yes, we're asking North American sports fans to have anything creative when it comes to chants, which is hard to do. If the Vancouver Rise can do it, you can do it. Please. Let's go wild is one syllable. You cannot make it two. That's not how this works. The Kings have figured it out, and they're in LA. Minnesota. What else do you have to do in Minnesota? LA at least has Disneyland and they can go out to Carson to watch some soccer, but
I don't know if I want to watch that soccer.
Yeah, anyway, they watch the Kings. Sorry. I'm cheering for the Kings, I promise, but it hurts, but I am. Like, yeah, Minnesota, 1 syllable. You cannot make Wild 2 syllables. It's not going to happen. That's it. I had to go Regina George at the end there because I'm like, I don't know what else to add to the bit other than just go Wild, go. Like, say something else. It's not 2 syllables.
They have to watch the Kings.
To watch the Kings.
Shout out the homie Andrei Kuzmenko. Anything else we want to talk about around the NHL, or should we begin moving on to other sports?
The Devils are gone!
The Devils are gone!
The Devils are the first team eliminated, and I am so happy. I don't like the New Jersey Devils all that much. I mean, like, they're alright, but, like, I don't know. Sheldon Keefe. Good job, bud. But yeah, also Rod Brind'Amour is the first coach in NHL history to win a round of the playoffs in his first 7 years behind the bench consecutively.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And we have had how many coaches during that time? I think 3, but
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like
I forget how many years we had Travis Green.
I've
blocked many of those years from my memory.
Travis Green. We
got a checking.
I'll be very checking. April 26, 2017. Rod Brind'Amour.
April 26, 2017.
Thank you. Oh my god, Rod Brind'Amour's first name is Roderick. I loved him in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Okay. So yeah, it's only been 3 because he was hired on May 8th, 2018.
Okay.
So
Devils are gone.
Devils are gone. What else?
The only real moment from the New Jersey Devils I remember this season was Jonathan Lekkerimäki making Jacob Markstrom crash out in the shootout.
Yeah. I always forgot that he's a Devil now.
Yeah.
Yeah, tonight on the day of recording this. Also, it was cool because at one point, I think it was before yesterday, all of the series in each conference were the same result. Everyone in the Eastern Conference was 3-1. Everyone in the Western Conference was 2-2. Obviously not the case anymore because Carolina beat the Devils. I did not mean to click on that. Vegas beat the Wild. So they lead 3-2. Edmonton leads 3-2. And the Senators won. So, it's different now. But Canadiens play the Capitals for Game 5. Washington leads 3-1. Florida leads 3-1 against Tampa. Yeah, also Game 5. And then Game 5 between the Blues and the Jets. With it all tied up, Connor Hellebuck, I swear... You ruin my bracket every single year, Connor. I need to stop putting my faith in this man. Or any man. Let's be real here.
But yeah, with that, let's get moving on to other sports topics. Let's start with the Canada Soccer Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So Canada Soccer announced its 2025
That is the
Hall
current year.
of Fame class, which included Lars Hirschfeld, Diana Matheson, pioneer in women's soccer in Canada, Michelle Pye, and Christine Sinclair, who you might know of, the best international goal scorer of all time, and she's just a legend in the game across the country, especially for me growing up too. And yeah, it's cool to see. It's cool to see. Yeah, I congratulations to all. But yeah, Christine Sinclair.
Sinclair also currently a co-owner of Vancouver Rise.
Yeah. Yes, which is 1-1 this season. Yeah, because they beat Calgary in their opener at BC Place off a penalty from Quinn, and then they lost 3-1 on Sunday to Montreal.
Yeah. But yeah, congratulations to all all inductees, as you said. Especially Christine Sinclair,
Legend.
Greatest of all time. I've just closed something that I did not mean to close. We're good. Okay. Anyway, I thought I'd closed the recording window for this for a second, and I was like, oh, damn it. But we are all right.
I was like, we're still recording, so I think we're good.
We're fine. I thought I had closed this. I was just like, Vancouver, Miami. Let's talk about the home leg first, where absolutely nothing relevant happened to either of us.
Yeah, I still cannot believe that happened. The Vancouver Whitecaps beat an actual Miami roster in the year 2025, a year after they sent basically their MLS2 team to play here. Oh, well, yeah, whatever. Whatever. But yeah, they beat like the most overrated team in the MLS. And frankly embarrassed them. Like, Kubas that had it Messi in his pocket like the entire game, right?
Kubas and Tate Johnson,
of all guys. Well, they're on the same height, so they can see eye to eye.
Same with Kubas.
Oh, right, yeah. Forgot he's
the three of them all refuse to be taller than anyone.
They're all shorter than me. Yeah, it was crazy to see. When we scored the 2-0 goal, it was Sebastian Berhalter, who is my favorite Whitecaps player, and I did not believe that had just happened. And yeah, it took me a second to calibrate, but yeah, Sebastian Berhalter. What a player. What a man. Has a weird coffee order, but that's besides the point.
All right.
I don't know. He had Timmy's coming into this game, so like respect there. This was like 2 years ago, but no. Yeah, that was a game that happened. Elias Pettersson, the elder, was there, and I'm not sure that he was, looking for that kind of result, but I hope he had fun. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't see him. Apparently, he was pitch side, but I have awful vision. So, yeah, it was a very interesting day to be a part of. But it's part of history, to be honest. The day we're recording this is the away leg, so yeah, I'm not nervous.
So quickly, before we get into talk about the away leg, I just have two things I want to do. One, I would like to send some well wishes to not only the players, but to our friends with Vancouver Albion and Vancouver Southsiders who have made the trip to Miami to watch this game. Shout out all you guys if you're listening. Hi, I don't know.
Holla.
Hi guys. Second of all, I would like to. I'm just gonna say a quick thank you to BC Place medical staff for the game, the home leg. We'll start this off by saying I am all right, but basically on match day, I way overexerted myself throughout the day while under eating. Just about fainted and had to go into the medical offices. Fantastic job by everyone in there. Just very thankful for their work. But yeah, I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Alex, the note, I'm going to repeat what you wrote about what you said. Alex tried to die for the badge, clearly did not listen to last week's talk about playing through injury.
Yeah. Yep.
That half Nanaimo bar really served you well, huh?
It was like 3/4 of a Nanaimo bar.
Brother, it's a Nanaimo bar! Okay.
I'm so glad I ate the Nanaimo bar. I probably should have had, like...
more than a Nanaimo bar!
in hindsight, when Mayan went to McDonald's, shout out Mayan, I probably should have joined him and grabbed myself a McChicken.
Junior chicken. McChickens are gross.
How do you not like McChickens? What?
How do you not know that junior chickens are not superior? Or are superior? I can speak.
Sound like me on Thursday.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I was not better than you in forgetting to eat food that day. I just hit it well.
Okay, yeah, I basically...
You're muted, bud. You're still muted.
Am I still here? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh my god. I don't even know what happened that time.
You're a little quieter, though.
I'm a little quieter. Let's pull the mic closer. That'll work. How do I sound?
Still a bit quiet? Quieter than before? Did you switch your mic over? Or something?
No, I just unplugged it and plugged it back in, and then it started working.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so in, I want to say like 4 hours at time of recording, we'll be kicking off in Miami. I'm gonna miss kickoff with the doctor's appointment, somewhat appropriately. But let's go get the win, guys.
Oh boy. All right.
Anything else you want to add about this game?
Yeah. I don't know how I'm watching it, but you know, that's it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Last topic.
This one we are going to have to be a little careful around, just given the... Well, okay. So Canada had a federal election yesterday.
2 days ago.
I worked the election.
I was like...
I was a poll worker during this election. Oh my god.
You should know that.
I should.
You were there.
I was. I counted the ballots and everything. So we're going to talk about just one riding specifically, which is the riding of Carleton and Ottawa, where there were 91 candidates running for office. Just for some context here, in my riding, there were 6. And I was surprised it was that many.
Yeah, I think my riding had 6 too, but that was because we had all the parties plus all like the... Well, I was going to say all the big parties, but like...
The big parties plus the Greens and the PPC.
Yeah, so the big 3... Greens and PPC, we don't get Bloc Québécois because it's BC.
Québécois.
No, yeah. And then we had an independent as well.
Yeah, we also had an independent.
Yeah, heard about that guy.
91.
Yeah. CBC had a replica ballot on their show because it was like they had it made for like Power and Politics, which is one of their shows over there. And it was like yay big. It was a big boy. It was a big ballot.
I just want to talk about something that the poll workers would have had to do here. Because there's a thing you have to fill out whenever someone comes up to vote called a sequence sheet, which is basically just a piece of paper where every voter is assigned a sequence number. You just write down their number on the sheet. Each one comes in a little pile where they have like carbon reprints that they make. Each stack will make 4. And you have to make enough so that each candidate can get a copy of each sequence sheet from every hour. If each stack makes 4, I'm just going to do some quick math here. It means every hour, every time somebody voted, the poll workers would have had to write down their number 23 times so that the candidates would have enough of these sequence sheets to take home so that they can call and harass voters effectively.
Jesus.
Spare a thought for the election workers in Carleton who just thought they were signing up for a regular election and then had to fill out that much paperwork for 91 people.
Yeah, so it looks like somebody a dude in some dude named Harry in, I'm assuming, the Carleton, looks like he took a picture of the ballot itself, the ballot paper, which is like not what you're supposed to do, so probably forfeited his vote. But also they had, the boards that like block out where your vote is taking place.
Yep.
They had two boards put together because of how large the ballot was. So it was a protest by the longest ballot committee. Targeted by the longest ballot committee in the 2025 Canadian federal election, resulting in a total of 91 candidates. It's the longest ballot committee is a political movement in Canada known for flooding ballots with a large number of independent candidates in protest of the first past the post voting system, which is a bit of a contentious issue in electoral reform in Canada. The committee's actions have prompted amendments to election laws to accommodate a greater number of names on the ballot, has generated significant controversy. They've done this in a number of elections. So they did it in Saint Boniface Saint Vital with 21 names in the 2021 Canadian federal election. In the Mississauga Lakeshore federal by-election, they had 40 names in 2022. 2023, they had Winnipeg South Centre federal by-election with 48. 2023 Kitchener Centre provincial by-election, 18 candidates. 2024's Toronto St. Paul's federal by-election, 84 candidates. 2024 LaSalle Aymar Verdun federal by-election, 91. And then 2025 Carleton had 91. So, it's not like a completely new thing, but this was the riding where Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre was running, and he was representing that riding in Carleton since 2004, I believe. So he had been there for quite a long time. Where is it? Member of Parliament for Carleton. He started in 2004 when it was still Nepean Carleton, now Nepean. I don't know how to pronounce things over there. That was the name of the riding. So yeah, from June 28th, 2004 to March 23rd, 2025. So, the riding instead was taken over by Liberal candidate Bruce Fanjoy, which kind of like not only it is a historic thing to do, because like almost 21 years that the opposition leader in the Canadian Parliament, he wasn't opposition leader for that long because he'd only been leader of the Conservatives since 2022. It is pretty historic that this happened, and but yeah, part of it I don't know if the longest ballot committee has anything to do with the fact that this switchover happened in MPs, but also the 91 candidate thing just being there. It's really funny because there's a on the Wikipedia page for the election, and like there's a list of electoral candidates. They have like a table of how many candidates are in each riding, and it's like normal numbers like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's one with like 8 or 9, and then it just goes to 91. Like it's absolutely wild. But honestly, it's a cool thing to like. I mean, I was about to say it's a cool thing that like this kind of like movement happens, but I'm like I don't know. It's definitely effective because Elections Canada had to give the Carleton poll workers special permission to count the advanced voting votes 6 hours before the polls closed.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? Kudos to those poll workers because they were still, the votes are still being counted into the next day. Like I think I went to bed around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. our time, so 4 a.m., 5 a.m. over there. And then I woke up and it was announced that, like, it was official that the Liberals had won that riding. So honestly, kudos to them.
Yeah, and that ballot counting process, there's like, I can say this because this was part of what I was doing in my job as a poll worker. There's a lot going on there. It's not easy work. It's not simple as just grab a piece of paper, read it. There's a lot of formality to it. So serious, like you said, kudos to those poll workers who had to handle that like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they knew what they were signing up for when they got into this, but
yeah,
work from all of them.
Like, I won't say, like, it is kind of creating a bit of a nuisance for, like, the poll workers there, but also, like, it is an effective, because, you know, it's a big thing. They kept talking about it, 91 candidates.
We're talking about it here.
We're talking about it here. Like, it is a big thing to kind of create that movement towards electoral reform, and there have been, like, movements recently in the Canadian Parliament of potentially getting rid of the first past the post system. So it'll be interesting to see what the fallout is for the next Parliament. But yeah, it was an interesting night. I would say, I was going to say something else, but I completely forgot. Oh, right. People are comparing it to the BC provincial election as well that had happened in October. But like with that, it was electronically counted compared to this, which was counted, like physically counted by hand. So, yeah, big kudos. Big kudos there to the poll workers. So, yeah.
Anything else we want to bring up, or should we wrap things up?
I don't have any cars topics for today, so I think we're good.
Cars this week. Wow, might be a first for this era of the show.
I couldn't think of one. I think I had one saved and I just didn't put it in. So, and now I forgot it. But yeah, also if anyone sees a Nido Nice Cube swirl, it's mine. I lost it within 6 hours of unpackaging it, and I checked the fridge again, it wasn't there. I checked the freezer.
Check the freezer again?
I was in the freezer for like 2 seconds. It's not in the freezer, bro.
What happened in 2 seconds?
It's not in the freezer. It's probably in my car, and I just haven't gone out there to check. But I was looking. I'm looking everywhere for this thing. So if you see it, please let me know.
If you find it, please email us at canuckschronicles@gmail.com.
Shoot me a DM. Is it in the background? Just like, am I pulling a Dora and I just can't see something that's behind me? Because I genuinely, I'm looking for this thing, cannot find it anywhere. I'm sure it's in my car. It has to be. That's one place I didn't check.
We'll have an update on this next week.
Yes.
Thank you all very much for listening. You can find us at Nux Chronicles on social media. You can find me at Alex_Rick03 on Instagram. Kaja, where can people find you?
Kaja May pretty much everywhere. Kaja with a J, May with an E, because that makes sense. And yeah, that's where you can find me. And also under your floorboards.
We're keeping that in. Thank you to Marco for listening. Everybody have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.